Hello, and welcome to the Fat Squirrel Speaks. Today is Sunday, June 22nd. This is episode 114, I believe. Hi, how are you? I'm Amy Beth, also known as the Fat Squirrel on Ravelry and the Fat Squirrel SQRL on Instagram. I have a strange random hair that's just deciding to break free of its reins. That's right here. Don't let the man keep you down. Oh, that's worse. Okay, so let's get into it. This week's episode will have, will it have shenanigans? I guess it's going to have shenanigans. It's going to have shenanigans, and it's going to have spinning and knitting and shameless self-promotion and woolpickery. Woolpickery, then shameless self-promotion. Hi, how are you? Did you go to the Stockinette Zombie Retreat? You looked so happy if you did. Looks like you had a very fabulous time. Yay, you. Yay, retreats! I won't lie, I'm totally envious. Just like whenever there's a retreat and there's pictures, I'm like, yay! Oh. Bittersweet. I'm so excited. Oh, I'm getting out there. Oh. I'm very excited that you're all having fun. Yay! And that you're letting us vicariously have fun through you. Thank you so much. Instagram, yay! Not only does it enable you on all of the wool things in the world, it also enables you on all the retreats. Instagram, you're evil in a wonderful way. Just like me. Okay. I apologize, I'm recording oddly this summer. It's just gonna be crazy recording wise. I'll do my best to try to get one out every week. I don't have plans to like skip weeks, but I don't like July 4th week. I may not record because we're going camping. I don't know. It's gonna see what happens. So I apologize if I'm off. We had a death in my husband's family this week. His mother passed away. It was expected. She's been sick for a long time, and they had time to say their goodbyes and do the whole thing, but it's been a little hectic here. So I do apologize for being off schedule. Shenanigans! We went to the zoo this week. Well, we went to the zoo last week. I don't even know what week it is anymore. We went to the zoo on Tuesday. I think that was the day. Maybe not. Tuesday. Indeed, it was Tuesday. So we got to see the orangutans for the first time. Oh, orangutans. Indianapolis Zoo is a very small zoo, but now has a very giant orangutan area. We have 6 orangutans. And they're awesome. Oh, my daughter did not let me like hang around in the orangutan exhibit long enough because, well, she doesn't have the patience, but I'm like, orangutan, my ginger sisters of the world. I love orangutan. So it was both wonderful and terribly sad. Oh my gosh, so sad. They're so beautiful and brilliant. And I'm just rambling. I'm sorry, I'm a little emotional. They're just gorgeous, but they have these like such contemplative, like mournful faces, and they're in an exhibit and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is so great. They are, almost all of them were orangutans that were in the hot like showbiz business. So they have like retired into this, most of them. So they were already here, but still. A little weepy. Just try not to be weepy, but a little bit weepy at the orangutans. Oh, they're so gorgeous. Anyway, you don't need to hear about that. But one really cool thing is about the orangutans. One really super cool thing is this exhibit looks very crazy. Like it has these like spires that go up in the like way, like I think they're like 70 feet up. So very high, but there's like these stacked lines between them, and they said it would be the orangutans would climb up there and frolic, and I thought, really? That seems a little. They totally do. My daughter was on a roller coaster kick and just kept riding the kiddie roller coaster because our zoo has a wonderful thing where you can buy like a wristband so the children can feed all the things and ride all the rides and do all the things, and it has like a little miniature roller coaster. It's just a tiny one, but you know when you're 7, it's a roller coaster. So she was riding the roller coaster in a total loop. I just let her go by herself because but the coolest thing is the roller coaster is right next to the orangutans. So as she's riding the roller coaster, orangutan totally climbs up the giant spire and just starts tooling around up there. It's just like, I think it was a lady one actually. She's just like climbing around. How cool is that? I have a picture of my child on the roller coaster. You can't really tell it's my child. If you're on Instagram, you know. She just looks like a blur, but I can tell what color blur she is, and therefore she's my child. I have a picture of her riding the roller coaster with like an orangutan photobomb. That's so awesome. I think those are all the shenanigans though. There is a lot of stuff to talk about knitting and spinning wise. I finished yarn. This is Polworth from Highland Handmaids, Fiberista Files. Her shop is Highland Handmaids. Her podcast is Fiberista Files. In the SSKers for the win. Or just SSK for the win, I guess. And I believe it's Polworth. And it's all flurfy and good. And it's just a 2-ply. It's about 300 yards. So it's a DK-ish. Light worsted-ish. And it's lovely and good. Smushy. Where's SSK? It's almost here. We'll talk a little bit more about SSK in a minute. If you don't know what SSK is, it is a retreat hosted by the Knit Girls in Nashville, Tennessee. And it is July 16th through the 20th, I believe, this year. Which means it's less than a month away! I'm vending. I'm a little bit crazy. I'll show you in a little bit. Why am I still talking about it? I told you I'd talk about it later. Moving on. I am currently spinning some Finn that I purchased while I was at Rhinebeck this year. It's from Finn Sheep. Easy enough, right? And it is 8 ounces of pin drafted Finn Sheep roving. Their website is pointofviewfarm.net. It is very lovely. I am spinning it supported long draw. Excuse me. And this is, I'm going to do a 3-ply. So this is my first 2 ounces. So it's woolen spun. So it's a little bit, I'm not super consistent with woolen spun singles, but it's very fun to do and super fast. So this is 1/3. I've got another third that I'm currently working on, and this is the last third. So there's that. I think that's all I have to tell you about that. It's natural and lovely and good. Snitting. Snitters. In a snit, this podcast. Snitting. I'm so sorry. Okay, I have a finished object, which I forgot to put. I have not blocked it yet, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you, because otherwise I'll forget. I finished my socks. My stripy socks. This is yarn by the lovely Sadie of Knitter's Nightmare. And the Yarnivore podcast. I did an afterthought heel, and I did some shorty socks because I've been wanting to have more socks to wear in the summertime when I wear sneakers beyond my just normal smart wool, whatever. So this is the Tulips and Vegetables colorway. Aren't they lovely? Sadie does such a great job. I apologize. I don't know what base this is, but it is a 80-20. 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. And it is like the high twist 2-ply base. So they feel fabulous. And they're super cute. Yay! And that orange just makes me happy. Happy, happy, happy. Okay, orange. So there's those. Do I tell you anything about double zeros? Laura Linneman's afterthought heel technique. Okay, so there's that. And then I have lots and lots and lots of knitting in progress. Okay, what have I only have one thing that you've seen before, I think. My Viajanche is taking a little break because I realized since the last podcast, that I was choosing projects specifically because I didn't want anything plain stockinette because the Viajanche was tearing out my soul, quite frankly. Not that it's a bad pattern or anything. I just, again, because of the podcast, I felt pressured to work on it a lot because it does take a lot of time. It's a lace weight and it's a lot of time investment to get any kind of visible progress going. So I'm going to let that take a break because I realized that it was kind of sitting on my heart, elephant angina style. So Does that need to be the title of the episode? Will I remember that? Certainly not. Sitting on my heart, elephant angina style. It'll just be elephant angina style. Maybe I can stop talking about it. Anyway, by the way, I've been watching too much House. Because, when I sew and stuff, sometimes I watch TV while I'm sewing or when I'm knitting, So I've been trying to get a lot of sewing done because that's what's coming. So I've been working a lot, and so I've been watching House as I work. I need to stop watching House because I feel like I'm dying every other day. I have like total medical school hypochondria. Every time I'm like, oh, my neck hurts. Oh my gosh, it's definitely an embolism. I'm out of control. I'm envisioning blood clots all over my body, insane style. It's crazy. Yesterday, my husband went upstairs, and it was like, I didn't expect him to go upstairs. He just went upstairs randomly, and then I didn't hear from him, and I was convinced that he was having a seizure. I've got to stop watching that show. It's out of control. I've never experienced that before. I guess I've never shotgunned a medical drama, but woof, I need to slow down. So the first thing you have seen is my Coquille shawl. I believe that, yes, Coquille by M.L. Egan. It's a free pattern on Knitty. And I am knitting it with hand spun. And this is hand spun from Three Waters Farm. And I believe I have no idea what the colorway is. Let's not even lie. It's something like Summer Pond. It's not, she doesn't repeat colorways, I don't think so. Her stuff is beautiful though. It's always wonderfully. Her colors are very pretty and very unique and very much my palette, and I could spend up $1 billion. Really is out of control. So here it is. So I'm knitting it on US 2.75 millimeter, US 2.75 millimeters, 2.75 millimeters, and US 9s, which I don't even know what that is. I know, right? Fail. Metric conversion fail. I'm sorry, Nick, the Nibber girls. 5.5 millimeter. So 2.75 millimeter and 5.5 millimeter. And this is it so far. So mine is bigger than the biggest suggested pattern. I just did, let's see. Basically you're supposed to stop. I think the middle section is only supposed to have 4 repeats. My middle section technically has 13 repeats. So I did 9. I believe I did 9 more repeats of the pattern. So one of the shell bell thingies is one, okay, let me back up, sorry. So it's like in increments, right? It's a free pattern, so I can tell you all about this. It's in increments. So you have like the smallest shells. I'm calling them shells, bells, whatever. Then you have small bells, and then you have medium bells, and then you have large bells, and then you have the largest bells, I think is how it goes. And depending on what size you knit, there's 2 sizes in the pattern. You knit either 4 of the repeat or 6 once you get past like the smallest ones. So in the largest repeat, you do 6 of them and then go to the next size. So it's very easy to extrapolate, even though the largest bells are from, I think, 16 to 21. Each of them, like the previous ones, were 13 to 18. So, and it's a short row. Like you knit 13 and then you do short rows up until you get to 18 and then you go back. So it's very easy to extrapolate larger. So you could knit this as large or as small as you wanted. That probably didn't make any sense, but I don't know. I felt like I needed to tell you more about it. I don't know why. I'm sorry. But anyway, so I am enjoying this. It is a side to side, obviously. You're always switching either like your needles, because you have a size, because there's the bigger welt in here that's stockinette that's knit on the larger needle. So there's always something going on. Either you're working on one of those little bells, or you are changing your needles, or, and it's primarily garter stitched except for the little bells, which again, it's no big deal to do that in stockinette. And then there's like 1 row of regular stockinette with the larger needles. So it's really a very cleverly written pattern. You get these great ridges, and then they're symmetrical. So you get like a ridgy garter ridge and then a garter ridge. Well, that garter ridge splits off into a bell. It's very fun. I don't know. It's just very cleverly done. Kudos to M.L. Egan. It's very nicely done. I always love when you get a pattern, you're like, oh, they're so clever. It's so clever of her. I love that. So there's that. It's almost done. I just have I may be paying a little bit of yarn chicken. I didn't actually weigh it to see. Yeah, well, that looks good. I make no sense. So I may play a little bit of yarn chicken, but that's fine. Okay, so that's the only thing you've seen before. Yes. The next thing I will show you is I am knitting. I have had, this is my Miss Babs and her Yummy. It's the 3-ply sport. I believe it's called Yummy. But it's the, oh God, I'm so sorry. Jellyfish. It's the jellyfish colorway. Is it something it's jellyfish. No, it's not electric jellyfish. Deep sea jellyfish. Oh my gosh, really? Really? In her deep sea jellyfish colorway. Well, I got this at Stitches Midwest, so that's been quite some little time ago. And it is just, I tried another pattern with it for a cowl and I didn't like it. And so it's been just hanging out, just looking at me with its evil eye like, you know you want to make me, but what are you going to make with me? And I've been like, shush, jellyfish, shush, go back to the deep sea. So I decided this week I got a pattern called Variants, and it was a lovely donation. It was a lovely gift from Katie. Katie Cat, thank you. Was it my cue? So she gets it to me. And the pattern is written for both fingering and worsted. So I just did the fingering weight pattern. It's a cowl that is, I'm trying to get it. The pictures are not, the product picture on Ravelry is very good, but this pattern is, so there, of course it's gold, and anything knit in gold, I'm like, oh, let's buy that pattern, even though I'm not, I'm a sucker, not even gonna lie. So that was the fingering weight version, and then the worsted weight version looks a little bit something like that. And basically it's just a cowl that has both garter stitch and stockinette panels. So you get both. It's really nice for highly variegated yarns because, you know, sometimes you like the variegated yarn, how it looks in garter, sometimes you like how it looks in stockinette. Well, this way you get to both. And so it's, even the same way, you get this nice contrast of how it turns out. And so I am knitting mine on US, whoa, I think US 6s, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, US 6 4mm. So you can't really see, it's all bunched up. But I'll try to find, oh, here's a panel where it's changing. Yes, you can see it. Or it's changing from the garter to the stockinette. Yay. And I'm actually knitting this as written. I'm not doing the back and forth where I try to knit garter in the round by only using knit stitches. I'm just purling it. Just letting it go. It's not that many stitches in any segment, so it's not like overwhelmingly a lot of purling. And oddly enough, I guess it's because I purl, maybe it's because I purl slower, but I can actually purl more efficiently while watching television than I can knit, I think. Or at least I can knit a lot faster than I can purl if I'm actually looking at the work. So the not looking at the work slows my knitting down so that it's equivalent to a purling pace. So it doesn't really, I don't lose that much time. Does that make sense? My hair's all crazy. I don't know what's going on. So I'm not, if you don't watch the show, I usually hate to purl. Like, I hate to purl. But I don't know, this week I guess I'm just trying to slow down and it seems more appealing. So that's very pleasant knit. It's not a ton of stitches around, but it is a longer cowl. And I'll probably end up playing Yarn Chicken too, because again, the pattern is written for fingering, and I'm doing the fingering weight size. I did not adjust the length because I do like a long cowl. And if it doesn't, the segments don't complete themselves, it's fine, whatever. It'll be fine. I don't even have that in a bag yet. It's alright. Joel Grace style. So the next thing I have, was it just last time we talked that I finished? I think it was. I finished my loop bullseye bump in the curry colorway. Yes. Oh, that's the whole thing. I was going to tell you about that. So last week I had that whole discussion. Apologize. I had a whole discussion about how I was like not sure what I was going to make with that bullseye bump. Sorry. And again, this is the newer one that has the shorter color repeats than the more traditional ones. And I was going to crochet. I was like to the point where I was going to crochet something. Well, I did crochet something. I crocheted this much of the whatever pattern it was. I apologize. I don't think I actually have it in here. I don't even know how to get back. Do I have it in here? No, I don't. Anyway, the pattern that was by Nancy Drew, I think it was like Garbo or something, but I can't remember. So I crocheted this much of it, and I enjoyed the crocheting part, surprisingly. It was very pleasant to do, and I like the look of the stitch. I just don't like it in this yarn. I don't. No. So I stopped working that. I did block it just to make sure it wasn't a blocking issue, but I'm not into it. It looks cool. It's just not what I wanted for this yarn, I don't think. So, back to Ravelry. I instead am making this crazy thing called the Panda Silk DK Fan Shawl. It's a free pattern from Crystal Palace Yarns, and it looks like that. So it is a modular knit, meaning like you join as you go. It's not true entrelac because you do have to break your yarn after each motif. I tried not to and I messed up. And you can totally see it, but I didn't go back. I should have really gone back. I really should have. And I wish I had now, but now it's too late. And I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. So, oh, and this, does it actually say? Designed by Gail Tanqueray. Tanqueray? Like the gin. So here it is so far. I'm knitting it on a US 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter. And of course it's lace, so it looks cruddy right now. But I think it's going to be cool. There it is. Oh. So just imagine it like all stretched out. Isn't it going to be cool? So I tried to cheat and not break my yarn each time. And when you do that, and if you didn't have a color changing yarn, it would be totally doable. But since my yarn color changes, I have this one row of purl bumps right there. Ah! Oh, I should have taken it apart. Because they are like, of course it's like the highest contrast. It's like a brown to a cream, so you can really see it. I may have bought a fabric marker to try to tone it down a little bit. I'm not even lying to you. I totally did. I'm going to experiment with that later this week. But again, in my revolt against the Viajanche, I was like, I can't have anything with lots of stockinette. I want small bits. Again, the other shawl that's like the shorter rows because it's knit side to side. And this is like just little chunks. Which is, I mean, that's also, I did actually want that effect for this yarn. Because again, I didn't want it to look, I was afraid if I did a regular shawl, it would look like it's going to look stripy at the very narrow part, and then it's going to look all heathered-y at the bottom. And I did want it to, like, again, I wanted it to keep its color segmentation as much as possible. And I think this is going to be very successful. I totally dig it. And it's very fun to knit because you just knit one little bit at a time. So, let's see. Yeah, it's totally fun. Now that I've put it, I actually knit this all like in 2 days, and then I put it down because I was like, oh, I'm out of control. What am I doing? So here's my next little bit I'll knit. So I'll pick up here, and then work the shell thing. And then on this last bit, I'll pick up on the last bit and then cast on, and then work a shell over here. So technically, I'm about halfway done with my number of shells at this point. So it won't be a very big shawl, but I think it's going to be pretty. What do you think? So there's that. Okay. And then the last thing I have to show you, you're like, thank goodness. The last thing I have to show you is I cast on for a sweater. It's been like 3 weeks since I've had a sweater on the needles. You knew I had to cast one on. Actually, it's been longer than that. It's been crazy. So, I have a cheap yarn confession. I am knitting this with Bernat Cottonish. Bernat. And it is a 55% cotton, 45% acrylic yarn, which is available at Joanne Crafts for $3.99 a skein. I believe it is considered sport, if I'm not mistaken. It's a number 3. And it is 70 grams, 282 yards. It's surprisingly pleasant to work with. I have no idea how it's going to wear. Oh, but here's the value secret. It was $3.99 a skein, and then I had a 30% off my entire purchase coupon. So what does that make it? $4, $2.80 a skein. And I'm making a little, I'll show you what I'm making with it, but I didn't need very much yarn anyway, so I was like, whatever, let's just try it out. I would not use this yarn for the first time in a big time committed project, but for like a small summer sweater, I thought I'm just gonna try it out because I love the way it feels and I like this color quite a lot. It's like a mouse gray. It's gunpowder is the color, but I don't know if you can see the texture of it. Yeah, you can. It's got lots and lots of plies. It's very round. It's kind of fun. It doesn't split very much. Lots of times cotton wants to split quite a bit. Every once in a while I'll get one that splits, but it's not an epidemic of splitting. So I am knitting the Mama Vertebrae because Laura Linneman knit that vertebrae and I was like, I think I need that. Like the cute little one out of Another Crafty Girl is all in the different colors. Laura from the Knit Girls, I'm sorry. Was like, oh, it's a cardigan with no fronts. Let's make that. I don't know why it didn't come up. I've been looking forever and maybe I just didn't appeal to me, the cover photo or something. I don't know. But it is a pay for pattern, but it is written in several different weights. I think 4. I think it's, yes, fingering, 8-ply DK. It is, I think she's British, so I believe that's more like our sport. A light worsted and a heavy worsted. So there's 4 different gauges, and there are A through H sizes. It goes up to 107.5 centimeters. Now, that is, and you're supposed to measure this measurement, your upper bust circumference, not your fullest bust, because again, there's no fronts on it. So that's going to fit you. That's going to be the best fit for you. What was I going to say? Oh, I am bigger than 107.5 centimeters, my upper bust measurement. Did I write? I wrote it in my book, but I don't have it here. I don't remember how many centimeters I am exactly. But my upper bust measurement is like a 46, I think, if I'm not mistaken, inches. So I actually needed 2 sizes bigger than was indicated. But because the pattern is the modular style where you can pick your gauge and your size, it's very easy if you need a bigger size. You just pick a smaller gauge and go from there. That was a lot of me talking about that. But anyway, if you're bigger than 107.5 centimeters in your upper bust measurement, it's okay. You can still make this. I wouldn't make the fingering weight one, but what else did I need to tell you? I think that's all. Okay, but this one is plain stockinette, and I didn't want any more plain stockinette. So I am making mine with a very basic lace pattern. It's just like a little diagonal. I know I'm in the middle of the row. Genius move, right? So I'm just doing that little lace pattern. So it's very basic, and it's a top-down raglan, so it's easy enough to work in the pattern. The pattern has you do a knit front and back increase. I'm not doing those. I'm doing the left leaning and right leaning increases. The other thing I am doing differently, the pattern has the front, you like do the increase on the first row, on the first stitch, which I am not doing because you're supposed to go and pick up that row for like an edging of some sort. And I find that it's very, very difficult to pick up an edging when you have an increase in that border. So I'm doing 2 rows or 2 stitches, 2 columns, I guess, of stockinette before I do the increases. So I essentially just added 2 stitches to the left and the right side. Does that make sense? Again, that just is for my sake. I think it's easier for me to pick up stitches when it's like that. So I just have a little bit done. It's just a wee little cardigan. But again, it is just a plain raglan cardigan, but with no fronts. It just has like a very small amount of stitching in the raglan that you increase. And I probably, the one in the pattern is written very long and it has long sleeves. Mine will be short sleeves and probably a little bit shorter. Just again for like a summer cover up. When I'm not feeling as sassy about my crazy fat lady arms. Some days, not as sassy about them as others. Okay, that's all I think is bedding. Moving on to wool pickery. I purchased some fiber from Fat Cat Knits. I was enabled by Malia of the Yarn Raising podcast. She's an evil enabler, as we all are. The wonderful thing about Fat Cat Knits is she does custom or dyed to order, I guess is what you should say. So you can either order 4-ounce bumps or 6-ounce bumps. I love the 6-ounce bump. It's like not as overwhelming as the 8 ounces. Like it doesn't give you so much yarn, but it gives you a little extra cushion over like a standard, you know, skein project. So I bought this one in the Dragonfly colorway, and this base is 85% superwash merino and 15% nylon. She does offer this in a gradient as well, but I just wanted the regular. It feels very fluffy. I'm very excited to try it out. So there's that. Isn't it beautiful? It's not my normal colors, but it's summertime, right? I won't get around to spinning it forever, but you know, whatever. And then I bought this one, which is more my colorway. This is a 75% BFL, 25% Tussa silk top, and it's 6 ounces, and this is the London Fog colorway. Right. Isn't it pretty? I'm so excited. Juliana of Juliana's Fiber does the most beautiful singles. If you're on Instagram, you should follow her. I can't remember what her name is, but I'm sure you can figure it out. Anyway, she does the most beautiful singles, and she says that the BFL silk makes it's the easiest for her to make those. She's like very fat, low twist singles, and they're gorgeous. So I might try. I don't know. They're beautiful. So there's that. The rest is shameless self-promotion, so if you don't want to be here, I don't blame you. I'll tell you later, bye. For those of you who are still here, I had a shop update this week. Of course, I didn't tell you about it because I didn't record. But there are still bags in the shop. So if you would like to go check it out, here they are. And there's a good amount of them, so it won't be like, by the time you get this, just check it out. So I have, what's remaining is fish bags. You know you want them. They are this wonderful, it's a decorator fabric, so it's not interfaced or anything, it's just a decorator canvasy wake fabric with an unbleached liner. And they are these wonderful orange printmakery fish. I love block prints so much. I love the aesthetic of like a wood block print. I want all of my tattoos to be wood block prints. Right? I'm such a nerd. But I love the way they look. And this is orange and it's fish. So of course I had to buy it. So there's the large wedge. There's the sweater size, which you get more fish for your $1. Isn't his eye great? Hello, orange eye. His eye is orange and looks like an orange. Like, isn't that wonderful? So there's the large wedge. And then there are a few of the biggest. The Aran sweater, also known as the pillow bag. You just put all of your projects in this bag and put it on your couch and it looks like a pillow. Or you put a blanket in it, or if you're like a person of my size, or in the neighborhood, you can put like an Aran weight sweater in this and you'll have plenty of room. Because it is, like, I could put my head in this bag with both the stockinette zombies, probably. Like, look, it's crazy. Yes, I am stealing that from Megan. So, and again, even more fish for your $1. So yay that. And then, this week also, I will be putting up pre-orders for the SSK bags. So if you don't know, if you've never watched the podcast before, when I do a retreat, I do like a commemorative bag. So we can all have matchy-matchy bags that commemorate our retreat shenanigans. Right. So this year, this is the fabric. You will have handles. I don't have handles done yet. So isn't it fun? And you get your tag, which says Super Summer Knit Together 2014 Fat Squirrel Fibers. And the best part about these bags is the lining's exciting. That's right, you get chevron lining. I'm not usually able to have, these are decorator fabrics. They're both twill weight. And they are actually interfaced in addition to the heavier fabric because they just didn't have quite as much body as I would like. So now they stand up on their own. Well, when there's stuff in them, at least some stuff. Oh, but so usually there are not like easily accessible coordinates for the decorator fabrics, but this one just happened to happen. It's not technically a coordinate, but I think it is. So you get happy chevrons inside. And so there will be a sweater size. Look at it next to my head, it's pretty big. And then there will be a wedge size. Now this one is tagged. It doesn't have its wooden tag on it, but both sizes will have the Fat Squirrel Super Summer Knit Together tag. This is just a sample for another thing. So yeah, so it's bright summery colors, just because it's going to be July and it's Nashville. Also has the lining. So I will have pre-orders up on that. If you are not going to the Super Summer Knit Together retreat, the SSK retreat, please do not order a pre-order because they will not ship to you. I will offer these bags after July. So probably in August, I'll offer a run of these bags for general consumption without the tag. What else do I need to tell you? You can order them even if you're just going to the market, because I'm not going to try to sort that out. So if you're just coming to the market and you want to make sure you get a bag, you can totally pre-order one. I think that's all. You will save on tax. Oh, it's true. So those will be up this week. This week starts June 22nd, which is today. I'm going to try to have them up on Monday, the 23rd. And then they will be up for at least a week. They might be up through July 3rd because I'm not doing a regular update until after that. If I do an update before SSK, it will be after July 3rd because we're camping and I won't be here to do an update. So but they'll definitely be up through the 22nd through the last day of June. I'm so sorry. I am very scattered this week. I do apologize. More so than normal. Is that possible? I didn't know it was. So that's all I think. Are you excited? I'm so excited about Super Summer Knit Together. Ah! Do we need to talk about it? I'll be in classes, but you can look at the roster to see if I'm in class with you. We should be buddies. And what else? I know, I'm just very excited. But I did have that breakdown this week where I realized it was 3 weeks away, and then one of those weeks we're camping. Like, not for the whole week, but for almost the whole week. And I really did kind of hyperventilate a little bit. I was like, oh my gosh, I thought I was doing so good. You know how it always is. You're like, I have like a sewing schedule in my bullet journal. And I've been on the mark, which I guess most people are like, yes, that's what you should be. But I get excited when I'm on schedule. Like, yes, go me! On this schedule that I set for myself. But still, I'm excited about it. But, so I've been like, yes, I'm doing so good. I'm totally on schedule for everything. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, or not, because, oh my gosh, I sent through it. Like, I basically have 2.5 weeks. So anyway, I hope you have a lovely week and are excited about any retreats you might be going to or any just fun shenanigans in general. And I will talk to you next time. Bye!